Hey there, you know what? I'll be brutally honest with you today. Love is a double edged sword. It's either going to be one of the best commitments you've ever made in your life, or a commitment you're going to remember for all the wrong reasons. Now, I'm not here to scare you off, I'm not here to tell you, oh, you're a teenager, you shouldn't fall into a relationship. You should just lock in your academics, your sports, piano, art. No, come on. I'm not your parent. I'm just a random guy on the internet. I want you to learn from this video is basically the ups and downs of getting into a relationship. Specifically teenagers, because most of the research I found is for teenagers. And if you decided that you're actually going to commit to a relationship, well, congrats. But do so only under one condition that I'm going to explain at the end of this video. Fair enough? Alright, let's get started. Well, let's start off with something positive, since I don't want to scare you all off. Pleasure, boost of self-esteem, self-worth. Never heard of it? Well, let's give you some research then. Research from the American Psychological Association stated that the results showed that beginning a relationship increased self-esteem, and that increase persisted when the relationship held at least for 1 year. Okay, that is fascinating, isn't it? I feel like actually worthy of having a partner, right? I don't know if anyone can relate to me. It's like you go from seeing all these couple in the streets to finally holding hands with your loved one. It just feels so good. I think it is what all findings held across gender, age, and migration background. So, basically, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are, you're still going to enjoy the benefits. And how can I not mention physical intimacy? A book by N.C. Crowther states that elevated dopamine levels are linked to the experience of being in love. Now, I don't want you to fantasize kisses, hugs, and something that I cannot mention in this channel for the sake of it and my dignity. But I want you to treat it just as a reward or a treat, because love is not all about that. It's more about the deep, genuine, and supportive connection you have with another. Hear me out, it's fast. If you desire intimacy more than genuine connection, you are falling for lust, not for love. If there's one thing you learn from this video that's not really about love, it's about seeing things from both sides. Bad news is, time really flies. But good news, you're the pilot. The first not so good thing about relationships is the time constraints, or commitment, or the time you put in, however you would like to phrase it. Just for your reference, just for your reference, because I know that most people aren't like this. A survey from the Office of National Statistics found that cohabiting, I know maybe most of you aren't, couples spend 126 minutes on weekdays and 210 minutes on weekends together. Now, this really differs from person to person, like it's very fluctuating. And it's just cohabiting, right? I believe most teenage relationships won't go as far as living together unless you're an adult. Maybe I'm just being, not so open-minded. Maybe things changed. Here's two more interesting stats you might want to know regarding bonding through social media. A report from the Pew Research Center states that 85% of teens expect to hear from their significant other at least once a day. Okay, that's fine. With 11% of them expecting them to hear from them hourly. I hope you aren't that unlucky one. Because, I don't know, I just feel like it's not really a bond anymore. It feels more like a burden. Another report from GWI in 2023 states that the average time spent on social media globally is around 2 hours and 20 minutes. And this number here might just go up because you're using it to communicate with your partner. And for those who are communicating hourly, good luck. And even they don't expect you to hear from you hourly, expect to spend some time after school, on weekends, going on dates. You know what? The last benefit is companionship. A research from a journal shows that emotional competence, I don't know how to read that one, plays a bigger role in romantic relationships than ones that are not. Why is the role? By being in one, you sure get a lot of chances to practice your emotional skills for mutual understanding, for your growth. Now, I'm not saying everyone has a bad day necessarily, but if your partner does, it is probably up to you to handle with them. A journal article from Procedia shows that a teenager can learn to balance their sexual and passionate feelings. They can develop skills such as self-disclosure, reciprocity, empathy towards another, while ensuring their own well-being. You could say love is literally a life lesson. You become a more considerate and mature person. Learn to take care of others while taking care of yourself. That is probably one of the most useful skills ever. Ooh, I don't know about you, I treat relationships pretty seriously, but if there's one thing I would use to describe teenage relationships, it would be a glass ornament standing at the edge of Empire State's building. Let's start with why, before we see some stats. Unfortunately, conflicts are unavoidable. According to a study done by Jessica Kansky on risks of teenage conflict, the heightened conflict in adolescent romantic relationships predicted relative increases in patterns of internalizing behaviors such as anxiety, sadness. Well, let me try doing it. Anxiety, sadness, guilt, and worry. With exposure of early romantic conflict, that may set the stage for future relationship dysfunction, which in turn is linked to increased mental distress. To be honest, we're also young. We might not have developed healthy coping strategies yet. On the other hand, the mental health disadvantages isn't necessarily long-term, as the paper says. And I think we can draw a conclusion here. Emotional maturity or maturity plays a big role in teenage relationships. Oh, I got 3 really big stats that I have done quite a long time searching about. The first study from 2017 has found that for 16 years old, the mean duration of romantic relationships is around 4.5 months. For 17, 7 months. For 18 years old, 10 months. And as expected, the number grows as age grows. The second study from 2018 has found that the mean duration of young adult romantic relationships was 23.65 months. Impressive, and was corroborated by 3 more sources at that time. However, the study defined young adults as a mean age of 19.52 with a range from 18 to 21 years old. Let's see one more and maybe you can draw a conclusion. The first study from 2024 has found that when adolescents were interviewed, most adolescents had been with their partners 1 year or less, with 4 to 6 months being the most common partnership length. Now we can see that most of them really didn't last a year and only lasted for around half a year. Maybe it has something to do with the emotional maturity I just said only 1 minute ago. And look, before you start blasting the comment section saying, yo, why didn't you know that teenage relationships will affect academics or blah blah blah? Look, it is either because I'm rushing this video at the time that I'm writing or recording this, or I am having very insufficient research on teenage relationships. Teenage relationships is an extremely complex thing, and probably me, you never understand. But for the stats I mentioned, it's just average. Maybe you're not average. Maybe you're above average, or you could be below average. But stats are only part of the story. The thing that matters the most is how you feel and how you act in a relationship. It's not like the stats are gonna affect your relationship length completely. They're just numbers, but it's a good reference. Lastly, oh my god, I almost forgot to mention that one condition, and I will be extremely serious on this. So let me just adjust the seat and close this so you don't get the, I don't know, gratification or something. Please, from the bottom of my heart, have the mindset that teenage love can last. I know, I literally just said most teenage relationships are fragile, but I sincerely believe that a small amount of people will make it. And Pinky promised me, like literally right here, Pinky promised me that you won't let it mess up your friend groups, your hobbies, and your most desperate and greatest dreams. Because a real partner gonna respect you for the dreams you have, and even the silly ones, except for the illegal ones. Well, I sincerely hope you can make a mature decision after realizing love might be a double-edged sword. Either you lock in or you actually want to try committing into one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and well, I hope you make this decision not because of me, but because you trust the science. Now, your move.